Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to get free music fast and download it to your device, whether it be Apple or Android. So stay tuned, and when I come back I'm going to get started. In this video guys, we're going to be going over how you can gain free music fast from the internet, download it to your Android, iPhone, or tablet. Chrome, you can use any web browser of your choice. And we're just going to type in FrostWire. And this is for tech newbies, people that are just not too tech savvy. You don't have to really know this program. You don't have to know much about tech. This program is really straightforward and easy to operate. And for those of you that may be skeptical about torrents and what they are, so let me tell you a little bit about what they are and what they are not, and what to be aware of. Because a lot of people get sort of paranoid when it comes to file sharing platforms. You remember probably, guys, you remember BitTorrent, uTorrent. So it's the same thing, it's just a much better program. So FileZilla, I'm on another one, but FrostWire is basically, it was around back when we had LimeWire and Kazaa and all those file sharing networks that were available back then. So back when the artists, musicians, they would create these songs and they would get paid for producing tapes and albums and so on. Well, when the internet evolved and they started putting them out there, people would host them on their own servers and stuff like that, and then people started creating these sites where they would just upload them, and then anybody can go there and get chunks of that files, data of that file, and it became pretty big. So they had a big shutdown with LimeWire and Kazaa, and people, got sued. And of course, some of them weren't based in the United States, so they have ways around that. But I'm not a lawyer by no means. I'm just giving you some history on the free music sort of industry. So in today's day and age, it is it's so much easier now to get the latest music. It's available on YouTube, of course, and you can get these apps that go to your phone that stream constantly. But let me explain to you the downside of that. So if you're running YouTube and you're streaming your videos, your phone is, it's consuming a lot of bandwidth. It's constantly running. So, whether if you have Wi-Fi, or you got to run around and try to find a hotspot, or you have data, a data cap, even those devices that have unlimited data still reach a certain peak, and then they just go down to a crawl and they start stuttering. So you get poor service when you have maxed out all your data. So this method, the file is directly downloaded to your PC, and then you transfer it to your device, whether it be iPhone, Apple, or tablet. So it's just a safer, easier way, and it's cost effective, because people that don't have data plans, people that may not have Wi-Fi, so it's just an all-around better thing. And the best thing about it is the only resource that this really takes up on your device is the storage. So 2018, devices have been created so much better now. You've got they're all solid state drives, but the amount of storage is 32 gigs is the minimum now. 64 gigs, and then so on and so on. It goes 4 and stuff like that. But the cheap, even a low budget cheap phone comes with 32 gigs. I remember 3-4 years ago, I thought 16 gigs was a lot. You went from 8 to 16, and you went from So where we're at now, it's like we can, or me personally, my experience, I can store more files than I ever could in the past. You know, I have so much room, so much extra memory on my phone, and that's what the best thing about this program is. You can store these files and you can have them, and you don't have to worry about, you know, your phone being hot and constantly running when you're streaming an app. You know, I do a lot of jogging and running, and I have friends that, you know, they're always, oh, my phone, my battery's dead, it's hot and all this. Well, because your phone, even though you're streaming from one particular app, as long as you're connected to that hotspot or the data is connected on your phone is constantly updating different applications that are in the background. So kind of like Facebook and stuff like that, you know, they're always constantly sending data back and forth. So this way you can shut all those, you know, energy suckers off on your phone and just run the regular file, you know, the music file, which is going to be stored on your device. So that's a little bit about, you know, the benefits of having a song downloaded to your hard drive, you know, your solid state drive. So we're going to be using FrostWire, and this is the best program to do torrent sites. And let me tell you a little bit about the people that are skeptical. I know for some of you guys are paranoid. I was paranoid when I first started 10 years ago. So I'll show you the options. The biggest thing that you have to look for and be aware of is seeding. And seeding is you're giving them the access to get, say for instance, you've downloaded Michael Jackson's album and you've got all of the albums downloaded on not your phone, because once it's on your phone it's separate and it's on your storage, so that's nothing. But while it's on your PC, before you actually transfer it to that device, you have the option to seed inside of this program and let it run. And while you're seeding, people that are also trying to get some of Michael Jackson's music or whatever, you know, say they wanted a particular song and you have that file on your system. Well, it encrypts it and sends bits and chunks of it. So the server, the program finds the closest server, you know, the shortest transfer of data to connect to. And if you're seeding, it can come and connect to you. Now that's all it can do. It can't come and, you know, get a virus, you know, mess your system up, get a virus and all. I mean, that's, if somebody wanted to hack your system and get in your system and give you a virus, then that's what they'll do, you know, because this is a totally different process. Now, like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years, probably a little longer, and never had an issue. But I'm going to show you some steps that you can, you know, take to be 100% secure, you know, so you don't have no, you know, so you ain't wondering, oh, am I, you know, vulnerable to attacks by hackers. So that's why FrostWire is one of the best platforms, because it shows everything up front, and I'll go over all that in a second. So when you're downloading it, of course you can use any web browser. I try to find the official site, so it's usually the first or second, but these other ones are fine too. You know, if you would get it from one of these other ones, the only thing that they would offer you, they would give you the file, the program, but they would probably try to offer you an add-on like some type of virus protection or PC cleaner or driver identifier, you know, some kind of add-on program that would run, you know, with this, or install with it rather, while you're installing your other, while you're installing FrostWire. So that's the only thing. And if that ever happens, you know, if you can't find the official site and you did download something that you didn't want that came along with it, if you're using Windows, go to the Cortana menu, or your drop down if you're in Windows 7 or whatever, that little menu there, and just go to Control Panel. And If you don't see programs and features, see, that's my recent because I just had it open, but you probably won't. So you go to your control panel, and if your control panel don't look like that, it may look like this if you've never accessed this before. So if you have never accessed it, then it should look something like that. You can just come up here and click to the icons, and this breaks down every category, so you can look at each little particular thing. So these are all the programs and features are where all the files on our system are stored, or shall I say the programs. And you would just come to that particular file that you would like to remove, and say we want to remove malware bytes. We just click on it and then uninstall. So it's a really, really straightforward to remove something from your PC, especially in Windows. So you would click this and download it. Make sure it's the official site. And once you're here, it will bring you to this website here, and this is their official website. And you can come in here and you can look around, read up on it if you're interested in that. But what I do is I just pick my device. Now I don't know what these are. These are operating systems too, but they're probably just in another country. Now Ubuntu is a Linux based, this is your Android, and this is Mac, so you can use your phone if you wanted to, and you can use your iPhone. So we got a Windows, so we're going to use Windows, so we just click on that and it'll open this next tab here, or a new window, and then it'll give you the option, and it'll ask you where would you like to store this. So you can choose where you would want to house this particular zip file. So it's going to be in the format of a zip, so all your stuff's going to be inside of that folder, your programs and all that. So I downloaded it earlier for the sake of time, because this video is, I want it to be, not bore you guys to death. Even though this is for newbies going over this, I don't want to make it any longer than possible. So what I did was I downloaded it to a flash drive, and here it is, USB-F drive. It's the same thing. You could save it in your desktop downloads, even on an external like I'm doing. So you come over to the FrostWire and you just double click, and you'll be prompted. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? And you have to say yes. And that's not going to make change. It's going to set up the program and get you started. For those of you that never have installed anything on your desktop. So once you get this, you'll get a setup wizard, and you can come down here and choose. They got many languages to choose from if you like. Then you just come here and click next. You can read this if you want. I never have. Click next. Make sure you look at this, because this is probably important. Click here. See where I clicked and it said click here and click here. Well, make sure you untick this, because now this is not a third party. This is what FrostWire puts inside of the program, and it's just another sort of bloatware. But this, no matter where you download your FrostWire from, your application or program, whatever, you're going to have this. So make sure, if you don't want this antivirus, Bitfence or whatever it is, ByteFence, you untick that, and then you can come over here to this here and click this again, and you'll see these other two, Chrome Minus and Yahoo. Untick those, because if you don't know what they are, you don't need them. Chrome Minus is a browser, that's Yahoo. I mean, it's just going to be added stuff to your initial download, and you don't need that. But it's kind of, misleading a little bit if you just don't see that, if you don't want to click there, because it kind of leads you, it says click here, so you think if you click there you'll get it, but it's totally the opposite. So you need to untick that, and then once you've done that, go to next, and then it gives you the option of where would you like the files hosted. Of course, you want them to be where your operating system is, so on your C drive. So I just leave all that default, and let that install. Okay, and once it's finished, you'll come to this, the wizard has completed, and you can run it. I just leave that checked so it runs, and then click finish. And then it'll probably open up your browser and tell you thank you for downloading our product, and give you some other stuff that you can read. And then of course this is the application right here, so you can close your web browser, close that out and let this open. So this is actually the program that we're going to be using, and it has a really cool user interface, or platform, user platform. So you come up here and you have your search box, you have your transfers and library. You can also preview your music or your file. You have a volume, and then you go down to the bottom and you have a couple other things, like I don't know really what these are. I think this is a VPN if you wanted to encrypt your connection, and some other things down here. But make sure you look at this here, at this option here, seating. Click on that, and it will, by default, this, when you're setting it up, I believe, I've had it in here, that's why it didn't go to seating, but this is what they recommend, seating. So again, what seating is, it gives permission for somebody or the system to access chunks of data, meaning chunks of the actual song or whatever content that you have on that file. This grants permission to be able to access some of that in certain cases. So it's not a big deal. I do it all the time. I mean, it's nothing to worry about, but for those of you that are, paranoid, want to be totally safe, you just click do not seed. But let me tell you, when you do it this way and you download your music, and if you leave this program sitting dormant on your computer for, let's say, 30 days, well, when you go back, you're going to have to update it because, it's not connected. So it's just like any program, just like Facebook, just like YouTube, it's like not connected. So you need to have that connected. But the one thing I do like about this, for those of you that are skeptical, because I was at first too, I didn't seed, I thought, well, I'll get my music, I'll come down here, or what I used to do, guys, I used to seed while I was getting all my files, all my music, and then before I shut off my system, I would just come down here and click do not seed. Well, they have added some cool little features now. This was back in the day, so now you just can go right here and don't seed. So we're going to run the process without seeding. But just remember that if you leave it sit dormant for, I'd say, a little over 3 weeks to a month, you need to go in and update it or reinstall it. It will tell you to update it. So we'll hit that. We'll close that down. And so that's pretty much the biggest thing. So let's say, for instance, we wanted Billie Jean, since we're talking about Michael Jackson. Billie Jean, Billy Joel. So now you see there's your, once you type in what you want, so we want that, Michael Jackson. You can do it two ways. You can click this, or you can click this other magnifying glass. So we'll click that. And you let it run. You want to get all the results, and you really want to, once you've got all the results, you want to preview them and make sure that it's what you want. If it sounds, what is this? I've got my malware bites on. I should have turned that off before I So this is the song here, and you know, so that was, if I was happy with this, now it's starting to, you know, automatically download it. So you come up here on this, and when you see we're not seeding, you can donate. It gives you an option to donate if you like. It tells you the size of the file, status, finished, progress, and download it. So what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll right click, and you see when I clicked on it, it highlighted, and you got these folders that lit up down here, show and explore. So you can do it that way. You can click on them and it will show you where it's at inside of, so let's click on show. So it shows you where it's at in the library, because FrostWire has its own little library inside of the program. But if you wanted to see where it's housed on your PC, you can click explore. And then it will take you to where it's housed. So this is the file path of where it is housed on your PC. So it's in your documents in the folder called FrostWire torrent data. So this is our song on our local machine. Also, instead of clicking that, you can just right click and you can get the same options here. Okay, and if any time you don't want the program, you can remove download in data. So those are your options there, and pretty much that is about it. So let me go over one other thing here inside of my documents. Here's the FrostWire folder, the default that they made, and there's the torrent data, and there's our song. So I can play it real quick. We've already heard a preview of it, but let's play it real fast, make sure it's what I like. Okay, so it's pretty cool. Now what I do is I make sure I have my phone or Android connected, you know, whether it's USB or whatever, and I just come to right click, go to send to, and then scroll down, and you see there's my device right there, and I can just send it to it. Click on it and it sends it. But before you do that, if for some reason your phone is not visible when you do that, go into your phone and go to the drop down menu, and you'll see a prompt that either says USB charging or charging. Tap on that and you'll get some drop downs. This is an Android. You'll see a bunch of different file. You want to go to file transfers, and that will send it to the default inside of your phone, in your phone, inside of like your audio, video, or whatever storage you have set up there. So it's as easy as that, guys. You don't have to burn up your phone to get it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and share. Talk to you guys later.